Our Serving Those Who Serve spotlight tonight is on a man who served in both the Air Force and the Coast Guard Reserves and helped build the University of South Alabama into what it is today.
Robert Van Barrow passed away earlier this month, but before he did, WKRG News 5's Bill Riles had a chance to hear his story.
Robert Van Barrow says he believes he owes his life today to the woman he married. Barrow was an enlisted man in the Air Force stationed in Germany when he told his superiors of his intention to marry the German woman who would become Margot Barrow.
Well, I had put in for a flight, a special TDY flight to Adana, Turkey, which was a dangerous undertaking.
It was the height of the Cold War in 1958. Barrow was sent to Cornell University to learn the Russian language, but was later switched to the Czech language. He and fellow airmen were charged with listening in on Russian communications, working primarily for the National Security Agency.
They needed to know how many and what their capabilities were. That was pretty much what our job was.
Because of the sensitivity of their mission and Barrow's intention to marry a woman who had one time lived in East Germany, Barrow was taken off of that flight.
That plane was shot down with 17 men aboard.
There were no survivors. In essence, Barrow believes his life was spared because of his love for Margot and being taken off of that tragic flight.
But she was a beautiful girl, and I loved her for what she was. She lost her father at the age of 4 in World War II in 1943.
With his new wife, Barrow left the Air Force and returned to his home state of Florida, earning a degree and his Ph.D. at Florida State. Soon after, he was hired at the upstart University of South Alabama in Mobile, where he became chairman of the Department of Political Science and Criminal Justice.
I was one of the first professors to be hired there.
It was 1966, incidentally the same year the Coast Guard's Aviation Training Center opened in Mobile. It's the same year the Coast Guard became interested in Bob Barrow as well, because he was developing the criminal justice program at USA.
What I was developing was a program that served them well. And then I had a number of their agents, most of them recruiters, come to my classes. And once they came in and said, you should belong to us.
The Coast Guard offered Barrow a direct commission, and he became an officer in the Coast Guard Reserve, eventually rising to the rank of captain while continuing his career as a university professor. Along the way, he and Margot had 2 children, son Frank and daughter Audrey. His beloved wife passed away in 2020. And this past January, Bob Barrow turned 89 years young. We're proud to honor Dr. Robert Van Barrow for serving those who serve. Bill Riles, WKRG News 5.